Hi people, my name is Jeff and today we are going to be looking at the latest alpha release for Total Fall of the Samurai Carlist Wars Alpha 28. So going over the changes from the previous Alpha 27. Town wealth and region growth has been doubled. This is mainly to actually... Well, at this point we're still trying to find the balance for what starting wealth and town growth should be, as at this point we have no idea how long the campaign is actually going to take, so we don't know how to balance it, so you don't become too overpowered too early on in terms of per turn income. So that's going to be an ongoing effort and will probably change another 50 times before the public release somewhere in December, we hope. Number 2, most campaign props like bridges have been added, which brings us on to number 3, telegraph lines, train tracks, and so on. Number 4, Spain is now scripted to rebel. There is nothing as the Spanish player you can do to stop the rebellions. They will happen, and that is what the mod is based on. It's basically, can you, as Spain, get enough of your territory back quick enough to stay relevant? Or as smaller factions, like for example the UK, who only hold Gibraltar, eat enough of Spain to become not a pushover at least. Then number 5, placeholder units have been added for Spain and Portugal, so they no longer kick ass with vanilla units. Number 6, some buildings have been revamped, building chains have been reworked a bit as they start causing bugs, which is probably going to change again by the time this thing actually releases, so that's not really something you have to take as like 100% confirmed at this point. Most Eurocentric cultures have been added and have mostly been added. There are, at this point in time, no more Japanese buildings available to you, or Japanese styled building chains available to the player, or the AI. All models for these buildings have been reworked. And this also counts for telegraph stations and train stations. And a couple more minor tweaks, as well as implementing the file structure of the mod. From now on, if you download the mod, you will get 3 folders in the zip file. You will get your base files, the ones you need to play the mod, optional packs that are not required to play the mod, and from which you can then pick and choose which ones you want to have. I, for example, chose to have the larger battle maps from it. However, battle maps are siege, all maps for playing battles on are still the in-game ones. Those are going to be changed once all the factions have been finished and the campaign props are done. But for now, we are actually going to be looking at the current campaign. And we are going to be playing as United Kingdom on Sissy difficulty. Short campaign, which means we need to hold 30 provinces. This map's big. Like, domination means 75. This map's big. Like, at this point, there is way more landmass than Japan ever had in Vanilla Shogun 2. But at this point in time, ships have also not been added, so naval combat is not going to happen. It's also probably not going to be included in the first release of the mod, as we really want to be sure that land combat's finished. So let us just jump in. So we can just skip all the intro parts. And here it is. Here's the campaign map. With the shrouds that it will release with, on which all towns are actually marked. So you kinda know what's where now. Well, we are Gibraltar, so we start off all the way at the bottom of the Spanish peninsula.
At the beginning of each season
and
to pay for the
we
supplies.
don't need you. Oh, wait a minute. Am I on? I should be on max unit size, I think. Well, whatever. Let's see. First construction is going to be... Let's see, what is actually causing the negative public order? Mainly modernization, non-faction religion, and tax burden. Because tax is still high. Income next turn is free. But we also start off with 1100, so we're going to start looking at diplomacy, going to Spain and trying to get a trade agreement with indefinite military access for them, and let's say a payment of 1,000 gold. No. So trade agreement, no, not alliance, military access, indefinite payment.
This allows us to
2,000?
call on an ally to provide assistance when at war, and likewise.
And they took it.
Note that a
That's good.
refusal to provide support.
So as the UK, we do start off with a fair amount of units we actually can recruit from. However, as well as a already fairly built up town, we start with a district, a fortifications, a infantry school, a tavern. And we have one more open building slot, as well as 40 food from the farm. And... no, this is a trade war, so no food from this one. So, looking around, going this direction through to Granada is probably going to be a valuable thing to do, because I think it was Granada that had the iron, and iron is, if I remember,
The trade tab details the current prices of
still
all
really
resources
valuable when it
produced
comes to
across our
trade, like
territory, and shows
30 gold a piece, basically. And the moment we can actually get in contact with France, getting a trade agreement with them is going to be top priority, which is why I'm not going to be spending any more of my funds at the moment. And just going and turn. Oh, they want the military alliance. We're going to decline because we know Spain's going to implode.
Ready for orders. Make haste, men.
So now we do see that we have a clear view all the way to the Spanish capital of Madrid, which is not looking good. That's quite a negative public order. So Spain's going to implode probably the moment we get to the campaigning season. So for the army, we are going to be taking out our faction leader and all of our line infantry, which should make very short work of the rebel infantry, which are just levies. Early part of the campaign is just going to be a lot of button pressing. Not much that can be done about it, because now the revolts start. That's not good, Spain. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10 rebellions. And we are going to go to Andalusia. And we're
Use
going to
this
declare
option
war.
to officially declare war on another clan.
On which we're going to take our faction leader and all of our infantry and move to somewhere where we won't have... we can't attack this turn, so we're just going to move up a bit
Attrition
to...
is the loss
yeah,
of men due to desertion.
here we won't take attrition, so that's the farthest I'm going to move. If we actually had winter dress units, they wouldn't take attrition during winter. But they would also shoot for crap during, well, summer and spring. Which is the trade-off you make with those types of units. And spring arrived. It is. Just got a armed citizenry and a levy infantry. I am... well... I want to actually fight this one because there are a couple of things about battles that I want to explain. And just checking, yes, recording is still working. It's just something I want to check on every now and then, that I don't look like a complete idiot talking to myself. But yes, as I said before, and as you can see, the battle maps are still the vanilla in-game ones, as currently the, well, main focus is on actually getting the campaign done rather than fixing these, well, aesthetic things. With a, of course, focus on finishing the campaign map. And Dreiser we're going to, we should start deploying. So another thing, the camera is completely free in this mod, because of course battles are going to be larger at some point, as well you as a faction get more units. So here's our infantry again, just our standard British foot infantry. And of course, on the other end of the line, we should have our Black Watch. No, these are Gordon Highlanders, sorry, not Black Watch. Black Watch is actually the main type of infantry I'm going to be recruiting early on, as they are the best bang for the buck infantry the UK has access to early on. Yes, I don't have guard infantry yet. And let's see, they are going to get the archer towers, which I'm not really worried about, to be honest, so let's just start a battle off.
Sir, we attack.
And move up. Don't need military cadence yet, so just forward a bit. Unit range has been improved to 200 over normal in-game. I have 150, I think, so we should be able to shoot outside of the archery tower's range. And they have started firing at us, and well, they are very weak infantry, we're very weak infantry, but this does probably show off one of the things that is also still ongoing with the mod.
Orders understood.
Let's see if moving them forward helps a bit. One of the things is that the tier 1 infantry has really crappy firing angles to make it more distinct from the units that will come later on. So they have a maximum 5 degrees upwards and 5 degrees downwards firing angle. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to move these two guys over here. And these two guys are going to move, well, let's just move them over here. And drop a military cadence on all of them so they're all fresh again. Not that they probably haven't used any stamina. As you can see, like, these guys are not really getting any kills. Like, most of the kills have come from the archery towers. Just going to get our troops to enter the fort. And that should be game 1. Just going to get those guys to move away from the wall. And actually get them to take this point. Yeah, these guys are really taking up pounding, but they're also annihilating this armed citizenry. I'm actually going to move them up so they start decapping this tower, because that's really where we are taking losses from.
The men have taken an enemy tower.
Alright, enemy tower taken. These guys are now going to start dropping a bit. This unit's fully inside. Just going to get them to go there. Those guys had already gone into melee. I did lose more troops than I should have. I should have just sieged this one out. And that is victory. In which I would have gotten a field battle, but I am wanting to get this video going as soon as possible. I'm not going to waste like 3 turns on that. Guess at this point now we're going to have to defend this point against the ongoing army of like 12 units of levy infantry.
As an alternative to straightforward occupation.
On which I am actually going to disband this unit because it's lowest in manpower. And I am going to recruit 2 units of Black Watch. These guys are expensive, but they also have the highest accuracy, and accuracy is at this point in time really what you need. Because like, highest accuracy of line infantry, these riflemen do of course have 22 accuracy, but they're a light infantry unit. And here is that enemy army I was talking about. These are all just levy infantry, led by a, of course, general, so they do have a unit of cavalry, but that's not really that much of a problem. I'd actually have 2 armies. Oh yeah, recruitment takes 2 turns now. Forgot about that. So we do have our army in Cadiz now that is facing 2 armies of the 2 enemy armies, while I am trying to get recruitment going here. I have 2 units of Black Watch, which are going to set me into the negative for now. But that should honestly still be kind of okay. I'm going to end the turn here because if they do attack Gibraltar, I'm going to get a decent garrison out of it. And if they attack, they are attacking Cadiz, I do now actually have a fort. The thing is, I hope I can shoot enough of them before they charge in. Because otherwise I'm going to be in trouble. going to depend on where they actually do come from. On which note, you know what? I'm actually going to see if I can rush this side of the river and set up over here, going for a field battle instead of oh no, wait, they're going to take the Tenshu, aren't they? Yeah. Which is going to get me to lose the battle.
Yes, sir.
So I am going to have to defend this.
Orders understood.
Ready for orders, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ready for battle, sir.
These are revolver cavalry at least, so that should give me somewhat of an edge.
Day, sir, we
See.
defend.
They're attacking from, of course, 3 different directions, because why wouldn't they? At least I can take these 2 units and redeploy them.
Immediately. Our orders at the double.
Actually, because these are sacrificial units, I
Yes,
am
sir.
going to move them out of the fort.
Double. Following orders. Ready for battle, sir. At the double.
So now we wait. We have begun firing. I've killed a few of them so far. So they're just going to keep moving in and we're just going to keep shooting them. Oh, these guys are already shooting. Not really going to get any kills, but still it's suppression of some sort. Like this big push is what's worrying me. Oh, they got a kill. No, it was probably the line infantry. No, the foot infantry. Sorry. Come on, guys. Shoot them faster. I do think the towers are going to do most of the work, to be honest. However, if the moment they start getting closer, we should start getting a bit more kills. As mentioned before, tier 1 infantry really isn't that good. But these levies are like tier 0.5 infantry. And again, they're not... And again, like... There's still a good amount of them. At least these guys are dying at a relatively quick pace.
Ready for order.
Going to move those 2 up. Going to get a military cadence on the Gordons. Because we're going to have to start to move you off of the wall now. At least these guys are sail dying at a somewhat quick pace. I'm actually going to get these two guys to charge to keep this side occupied and hopefully clean it up as fast as possible. But these guys are actually routing. Move into that cap point a bit. Yeah, these guys are gone. That's one unit. Shit ton more to go. Oh, these guys are routing. That's great. Okay, move these guys over and got a unit of line infantry free to use. I'm going to have to start pulling back. Not really much I can do about it, it's just that they are really starting to enter the fort now.
Ready for order.
Okay, these guys are actually tying up a good amount of units. But it really has just come down to a melee at this point. We got a couple of military cadences going off just to get some more morale going.
Ready for order.
We're starting to push them back over here. Going to have to pull my faction leader out of there before he dies. But now we can actually start shooting down with this melee, which is going to be a lot for us. At this point, their army should also start mount.
Men are exhausted.
Yeah, that's probably these two. These guys all have their military cadence possible, and they're still fresh. Well, eager at this point. I know, they're back to tired. Don't get rid of that archery tower. I don't want to lose more men. once again, we've lost the fight for the walls.
Break off the attack. At the double.
A unit is running from the battlefield, sir.
At the double.
But a unit in the guard mode is a unit you will actually shoot during melee, which is really useful in melee-based rounds. It basically negates their rolling advantage.
Prepare to receive a charge.
So I managed to pull this one off.
Immediately. Fall back.
Just going to have to shoot
Victory
their
is assured,
generals.
sir.
It's going to take a little bit. But that should be battle 1. You should honestly not have suspended that unit right there, but well. Forgot that movement range actually got upped. Well, not much we can do about it at this point, to be honest. We do actually now have a, like, these two are just going to respawn next. Oh no, wait, we did defeat both armies, oh, we're safe. They're not going to be able to get enough units in time to actually put the hurt on us.
It is important to know how far enemy armies are able to move.
Like, replenishment on these is going to take a while, so I am actually going to be more inclined, even though they are already rank 1 units, I am more inclined to disband these two and recruit new units instead of just waiting, which is just another 2 units of Light Watch.
Or find an alternative route.
And after that we are going to be, well, moving upwards to Seville. Once these 2 units have been recruited. Of course you go and raid our farm. Sore losers, should have actually sallied and wiped them out. Because that is going to cost us a bit of money.
Attrition is the loss of men due to desertion, disease, etc. Our army has suffered casualties and requires fresh recruits to replenish troop numbers.
You need to go back, I don't need you up here.
General and is in a friendly province.
So I'm just going to wait for those 2 units to be recruited and then we're going to move up. Oh, they have another army.
Our armies cannot enter the ports or any buildings outside of a settlement. either our own, those of our allies, or those belonging to the enemy.
Alright, let's see.
These buildings can,
Garrison's
however,
forces is
be
4, but
protected if they
non-aligned
fall
and
within the zone
resistance
of
should be
control
away
of
by
one of
next
our
turn.
armies.
We have 1 unit here and like 6 units here. Next turn our 2 Black Watch are going to arrive and we are running a deficit now. We should have about like close to 30 turns deficit, and by that point I do believe we should... Oh, motherfuckers. I should have wiped out that 1 unit.
On the move, sir.
Oh, there's our Black Watch. Our repression is now at 6. So we are going to go off the battle.
Forward, men.
I'm not going to repair this one this turn because quite obviously just going to raid it again. Oh yeah, just to bypass my army.
Farms and specialty buildings are
Screw you.
positioned at
Time for a field battle. And this is also where I'm going to be ending off this part of this field battle, because at that point we'll probably already be an hour long. I was initially thinking of doing more of an abridged series, but then I realized how much editing work it would actually be, and I would actually be doing more editing than anything else in a day if I were to do such content. So I'm just going to do a couple of parts of gameplay. And this is again the larger battle maps. You have way more space to not deploy, but actually have units on the map over here.
Ready for orders, sir. At the double. At the double.
Today, sir, we attack.
His general really just plowed into my infantry. Yes, well. Again, here's what you see with the iffy line of sight on the hills for these types of units. Kind of charging. Once my general arrives, it should really not be a problem anymore. This unit is going to be the main problem because he's on a hill, and shooting upwards is something tier 1 units are going to be horribly shite at.
Your men have killed their general, sir.
Oh, the general's dead. Nice. And it's his bodyguard guy.
Break off the attack.
Actually, I can just go and sit on this hill. And they can't really do anything against it. Just moving these guys up. We're going to the general. And now we're just engaging in a standard old line battle, which we by all accounts should win. Oh, these guys are moving. I am going to make use of that. actually charging into melee against my Black Watch. Poor choice. And those guys just move up. Have them move up and then have this guy move up.
Following orders. Hit the double. Attack. Engage the enemy.
And this enemy unit's melting one by one over here. That fight got cleared up, so now I'm just going to be moving my units to flank. But quite honestly, battle's already over before, well, battle's already over before when I could get them to not go onto the hill. At that point, we had practically already won. And that unit was all that was left, and that is the victory for us. Actually took less long than I thought it would, so video is only going to be 45 minutes, people. It would be an hour if I actually had to pick them off that hill.
At once.
And it's all going towards getting our Governor General to rank up. Also, we only have 3 honor at the moment, so we should establish a vassal out. So we should make a vassal or puppet out of Andalusia once they only have 1 province left, just to get that
At
honor
your
up.
command. Orders
But in the
received.
meantime, we're just going to start
Make
moving up
haste,
towards the
men.
next town.
Waiting
I am
march.
going to...
Sorry, sir, but we
No,
cannot.
we can't stay in recruitment zone. That was kind of dumb of me. Should have moved back a bit. Well, shouldn't have moved up so far.
At your
And again, we
service.
should reach the town next turn, which is going to be for well, part 2. Which is probably going to be like part 2 of 3, so I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching.